Hey everybody, welcome to the Hellfire channel where we cast things in bronze and other metals, and we also dabble in some glass projects and some ceramic projects. Let's get started. I'll show you how I made this really cute, really cool tin bronze rabbit. Let's go ahead and get started. I start by brushing on multiple layers of wax to build up the form, aiming for about a 1/4 inch wall thickness. Brushing the wax as it cools helps build up faster, and I have more control. Once I reach the right thickness, I trim and clean up the wax shape. Then I stick it in the freezer to firm it up for demolding. After it's cold, I carefully demold it, trying not to crack or break anything, and sometimes that's easier said than done. I use a cooking griddle, one that I picked up at a thrift store for just a few bucks, and to flatten out the wax. It makes it a nice flat surface. For chasing the wax, I use a wood burning pin. This tool works great for smoothing seams and sharpening details. If you don't have one of these, you're missing out. They're fantastic. Once I'm done with the wax chasing, I start building a ceramic shell by brushing on 7 layers of suspended slurry. Dipping it is faster, and if you have the setup and enough suspended slurry, you should do that. But actually, I don't mind brushing. It gets the details really well, and I can usually get up to 3 coats in a single day. After that part's done, I start adding some sprues to allow the molten metal to float so the gases can escape during casting. I repeat the slurry process for the inside of the mold as well, ensuring a full form is coated evenly. I then brush on 6 coats of Hellfire, a high heat resistant ceramic mix that I use as a mother mold. It is strong and way less prone to cracking. This is a mix that I came up with and I'll be revealing in a future video or on my website. Once the Hellfire is completely dry, I finish adding any needed gating and give those sections a few coats as well. After everything is fully cured and dry, I begin the burnout process. I'm using a weed burner to heat the form from the bottom up, slowly working my way up, and this helps reduce the risk of cracking. Now we can load the shell into the kiln and finish the burnout process and ensure all the wax is removed. Toward the end of the burnout, I can fire up my furnace and start loading in copper. I'm using a bunch of old copper pipes I picked up while working construction. As the copper is melting, an oxidation layer burns off and gives us green flame. This is really cool to watch. Once the copper is fully melted, I add pewter to form my own custom bronze alloy. I now pull the mold from the kiln, bury it in sand for support and insulation, and get ready for the pour. With the metal ready, I pull the crucible, give it a good stir, and skim off any slag sitting on top. During the pour, I realized, and judging by the bubbling, that I may not have gotten the perfect burnout. This sucks, and it may have caused a complete failure in our casting. Once it's cooled off enough, I dunk it in the water. This is not a necessary step, but I'm way impatient, and I love watching the water boil when it...
Boiled eggs, anybody?
Breaking open the shell, I'm honestly surprised at how good it turned out. I can now use a grinder and cut off the gates and sprues. I then give it a good sandblasting to clean off the rest of the ceramic shell. Now we can begin the metal chasing process. And because I had that bubbling in the casting when I poured the metal, I'm having some inclusions and things that will need to be ground out. So I spent some time with the Dremel and different bits, cleaning up any little any bubbles or imperfections, cleaning up any seams and making it perfect. Once I'm happy with the surface, we can then apply a patina, starting with a hot bronze layer, and then I follow that with a cold green oxidizing finish to age it beautifully. Once the oxidation layer has completely done its thing and it's looking beautiful and green, I'm then taking and polishing it up in certain areas to highlight some of the texture and some of the beautiful sculpted areas that need to be in bronze. Once I'm completely happy with the patina and how it turned out, we can give it a clear coat. I'm using a spray-on lacquer of sorts made by Minwax. Just testing this product, seeing if it's going to be a good indoor finish for our bronze pieces. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment to help us grow the channel. More projects coming soon.